in physics called leverage. When the devotees extend the mic stand all the way this way, it doesn't work. You know why? Because of leverage. So somehow, some of you, of course, may be educated in engineering, which I was. So, but they forget it when they use mic stands. So anyway, so let me see what we're going to speak about. So we're going to Timrandasha, Gananjana, Shlakaya, Chakshur, Unminitam, Yena Tasmai, Shri Gurave Namaha. So we are in the month of Kartik, which is the month of Damodar, in which we worship Lord Damodar and Yashodamani. And for many years, I would go to Braj for Kartik. That's the standard. And now I'm not going to Braj during Kartik. I'm coming here. But for me, this is actually better than Braj. Oh my God. Am I committed an offense? The reason it's better than Braj is because if I go to Vrindavan, Braj, during Kartik, it's basically for my own spiritual benefit. I'm going around Govardhan, chanting what? Hey Radhe, but she said, oh no, quiet. That's the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Hey Radhe, Brajadev K. Hey Nanda Shuno Kuta. That's the verse from Srivasacharya's Goswami Ashtaka. That means the Goswamis of Vrindavan, they were always going around Vrindavan in a mood of separation. Oh Radharani, oh Krishna, hey Radhe, Brajadeva K. Hey Nanda, where are you, Nanda Maharaj? That Nanda Maharaj. That's a poor excuse for Nanda Maharaj. That's not what I was asking. Hey Brajadeva. Anyway, the Goswamis of Vrindavan are not asking for you. Asking for Nanda Maharaj. Hey Brajadeva. So, Nanda Shuno Kuta. That is, oh Radharani and Krishna, Nanda Maharaj. Where are you? And this is the mood of Vipralamba, right? Vipralamba means intense mood of separation. Of course, this is the mood that we're supposed to inculcate, cultivate in the Krishna conscious movement. That, Radharani and Krishna, we're looking for Krishna. Not that we've seen Krishna, we've attained Krishna, but we're looking for Krishna. So, anyway, so for many years I was doing that. In fact, I even went during the summertime to Braj, when it was so hot that there was not a single person around except for me. It was so hot, it was like, actually it was, oh my God, it was like close to 40, 50 degrees hot. It's so hot that in India they used to say, the only people who go outside in the summer are mad dogs and Englishmen. You ever hear that expression before? That's from Rudyard Kipling. So, and so it was so nice just going around, nobody to talk to. You know that story in the Bhagavatam where there's this girl who's preparing prasadam for possible marriage candidates, and she has all these bracelets on each arm, and she takes them all off so they don't hear that she doesn't have a servant. So sometimes it's like that. You put two people together and there's clack, clack, clacking. Was that? Rajalpa. So I was all alone, just chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Actually, even during the rainy season, I've been there. One time I was on the other side of Govardhan, and it started raining, and the water was up to my waist. I had to swim back to my house. So anyway, so it's very attractive naturally, as Gaudiya Vaishnavas were very attracted to Braj, to Govardhan. Radhakund, Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Shamakunda, Radhakunda, anyway. Now that I talk about it, maybe I'll take the next plane and go there. No, not really. So, I've been thinking that, it'd be nice just to live there, just go around Govardhan. As there's this saying in America, goodbye cruel world. Not having to deal with, just like I came from the GBC meeting. And we're dealing with all these different issues that happen around ISKCON. You can't imagine what happens worldwide in ISKCON. It's a worldwide organization with basically over 1,500 centers, temples, and major financial stuff. And, we have trouble with people, as any corporation does. And we have trouble, challenges. I don't want to say trouble, there's challenges, opportunities. And so sometimes we're sitting there thinking, I could be a Govardhan. Dancing and chanting, playing my guitar. I actually play the guitar at Govardhan. People like that. Brajbasis really like that. And I cook for myself there. I buy the subsies at the subsidy market. And I have a very nice relationship with all the Brajbasis there. So then I think like that why can't it be that, I'm 76, time to retire. And then I think of Prabhupada. And so it's interesting, a disciple should always be thinking of being guided by the spiritual master, even when the spiritual master is not present. Of course, that requires understanding the mood of the spiritual master. Just like we have in the case of Srila Rupa Goswami, who understood the mood of his guru, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's an interesting prayer. Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishnam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gada Mayam Gadati Swapadatikum. That Rupa Goswami, you understand, Mano Vishnam, the mind of Lord Chaitanya. He only had instruction from Lord Chaitanya for a short time. Yet he became in one sense, I don't want to say founder, he's not the founder Acharya of ISKCON, but he's the founder Acharya of our particular branch of the Gaudiya Sampradaya. Therefore we're called Rupa Nugas. So Sri Chaitanya Manopashtama, he understood Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's intention. Therefore, Stapitam Yena, he was establishing it for us. Therefore Prabhupada considered the Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, to be the law book for the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So, understanding that, it is our business in ISKCON to understand His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Whether or not we're initiated by him, he's our guide. He's our guide. And his intention, and his vision, and his example. We see Srila Prabhupada's example that Srila Prabhupada did not retire. Srila Prabhupada, at the time when everybody else was retiring, what did he do? He left Vrindavan, right? Everybody was saying to him, you're old now, you should never leave. What if you die somewhere else? Because the Vaishnava wants to leave his body in a holy place. There are holy places all over the world due to Prabhupada's mercy right now. So, the Prabhupada, following the order of his spiritual master, Prabhupada is always focused on the order of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That's why it's very important for the devotees to read the Prabhupada Leelamrita. You've all read it? Very important. It's actually the most important book, I think, in the Krishna conscious movement, because it tells you how to follow the Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada's life is Bhagavad Gita in action. How do you know how to follow? Like if you simply read the Bhagavad Gita, you think you're supposed to go out and kill all your family members. Right? Find my grandfather, kill him. He's not a devotee, Rakshasa, kill him. That would not be very good. You'll end up the rest of your life in prison if you do that. But so to understand practically Bhagavad Gita, surrender. Because Arjuna's surrender was to Krishna. That's the essence. I'm surrendering to you. I'm accepting you as Guru. Anyway, so Prabhupada's attitude towards his spiritual master was like that too. From the time he heard from his spiritual master in Calcutta as a young man, he became completely focused on the order of his Guru. Even his business was there to try to print books, get the money to print books, and carry out the mission of preaching in the English language. But finally everything failed. Like Prabhupada's marriage failed, his business failed, his support of his godbrothers failed. Yashamana Grinami Harishe Tajanamishanai. For those who I especially favor, I take away everything. Of course, you're all praying, Krishna, don't favor me. Don't take away everything. But anyway, everything that's not favorable to Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada, he just remained focused on the order, and he left Braj. And he came, and because he came to the Western world, of course, many of you came from India or Fiji. The opposite. Anyway. We're here. We're here because of that. And that is compassion. So, getting back to the point, whenever I think of, and Prabhupada, actually just continue with Prabhupada, and Prabhupada didn't go back to stay in Braj until the last few weeks of his mission. Before that, even though he was just skin and bones, he had the devotees carry to Mount Krishna Maharaj. He had them carry him to London. Because he wanted to establish Varnashram Dharma, he wanted to be with the devotees. I mean, can you imagine such a situation, you're getting ready to leave your body, and then people pick you up and take you out of the holy Dham and take you to London? Like Prabhupada said, London is hell. Sorry, many of you come from the UK, I'm not sure. Prabhupada was asked by a reporter, do you believe in hell? And Prabhupada said, yes, London is hell. And it is, you don't see any sunshine or anything like that. It's pretty, sorry if anyone from London is listening, because I have some disciples there. So, anyway, Prabhupada was determined to preach, because he was overcome. Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha. You understand? An ocean of compassion. Paraduka Dukhi, which means not concerned for himself, but concerned for everybody else. Of course, the heart attacks and the boat coming over. So many examples of that. So finally he went back to Vrindavan with a few weeks and then left this world surrounded by the devotees, chanting the holy name. Perfection. Anyway, Prabhupada was always perfect. He could have left this world anywhere he wanted, because wherever he was Vrindavan. He had no need to go to Vrindavan. Of course, he did set an example for us. So in the same way, whenever I think of just going to Braj and staying there, and I hear Prabhupada chastising me. You rascal! And the chastisement of the Guru is actually very wonderful. Actually, what that indicates a very intimate relationship. And I experience that too with disciples who I know can listen to me, I chastise. But the other ones, yes, Ashirvad. Blessings. Okay, you want to do that? Blessings, blessings, blessings. I have to keep my hand up all the time. Just giving blessings. So, but just like in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, one time Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got very angry at Jagannatha Pandit because he was instructing Sanatana Goswami. Some of you may know this from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Prabhupada said, Lord Chaitanya said, that Jaga! He began to criticize him. And Sanatana Goswami said, now I can understand what an intimate relationship you have with Jagannatha Pandit. And my relationship, I'm paraphrasing, is not so intimate because you're just praising me. So, it's wonderful to get chastised by the spiritual master, chastised by Prabhupada. So, somehow or other, we've learned to integrate Prabhupada into our lives. This is very important. Guru Nishta. Very, very important. Because we understand, actually several things. Not simply because Prabhupada's saving us. I understand Prabhupada saved us. But because we love Prabhupada. And why do we love Prabhupada? Because he loves us. Actually, this is the first realization I had about Prabhupada, is that he loves everybody in an unconditional way. He's the first person I ever met who was like that my whole life. My mother loves me, my father loves me, but it's not unconditional. It's really not unconditional in any circumstance. Before I came to the movement, I had no intention of joining the Hare Krishna movement. I was very independent. I didn't like the way the devotees treated me when I visited the temple. But the only thing that got me to join was meeting Prabhupada in 1971. When I met Prabhupada, I said, okay, I have to tolerate everything to please him. You understand? Toleration. So I had to tolerate, what did I have to tolerate? Living in a room with 30 other men. A room that was like half the size of this room. It's not easy. It's worse than the army. Not worse, better. Sorry. So, and then one bathroom for everybody. You can imagine what going to Mangalarti was like. He was like, stop taking the shower. You're using too much hot water. Or if someone was using hot water, the mirror would fog up. And then you'd criticize that devotee. Anyway. So many, but it was fun. It was actually fun because we were serving Prabhupada. Otherwise, why would I endure all those austerities? I came from a wealthy family. Why would I want to endure austerities? I mean, my family, we had our own airplane, our own boats. I had a beautiful sports car, which Krishna smashed up the first day I joined the movement. Krishna took away my biggest attachment. And we had all these things. And then there I was, living like, wow. Oh my God, I can't imagine. But Prabhupada, I was willing to do it and I was happy. It was out of love. It wasn't just like, oh my God, it's torture, torture, torture. Get me out of here. No. It was a love. Loving Prabhupada, serving Prabhupada, and being connected with Prabhupada in service. Not that I was with Prabhupada all the time. I mean, I was with Prabhupada maybe a handful, 2 handfuls of times. Like Prabhupada said about his spiritual master. But we were connected in service. So I could say in the last, 55, 60 years, whatever it is since I joined the movement, have been extremely blissful in spite of the physical austerities. Why have I been extremely blissful? Because our connection with Prabhupada. And I was just speaking at the GBC meeting. I said, I'm having so much fun serving Krishna, I think it's illegal. You know, police are going to pull me over. You're having fun without a license. So, because of devotion. You know, this devotion is yatma supersedite. Savai pumsam paradharma. Yato bhakti hoksajay. Ahaitagiya pratyata. Yatma supersedite. That's from Bhagavatam. That's the only thing that will satisfy this self. Tushanti cha ramanti cha. Bhagavad Gita there again. That's the only thing that will satisfy the self, which is devotion. And then if you have devotion, you can be willing to do anything. And Prabhupada showed this in regard to the spiritual master. 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, which we mentioned at the beginning of this discussion, show this because they were undergoing so many austerities, living under a different tree every night. Nijahara, vihara, giving up eating, giving up sleeping to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's not that they simply went around and enjoyed the bliss, but they were Nana Shastra Vichara Naika Nipano, Sadharma Samstapako, Lokanami Takarano, Tribhuvane, Manyo Sharanya Kuro. Yeah, some of you may know this verse. This is from Goswami Ashik again. They were going through all the revealed scriptures to come up with Saddharma, established eternal religious principles, which form the basis of the Krishna conscious movement today. The Shastras we have, Nectar of Devotion, of course Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna's Kaviraj, of course, Goswami is the author, but he heard the whole thing from Raghunath Das Goswami. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami was living at Shaima Kund, and Raghunath Das Goswami was living right next to him. And every day Raghunath Das Goswami would talk about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. And Raghunath Das Goswami was the Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis, who had the most association with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, up to the final days of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So, these devotees were dedicated, and they were writing by hand, not computers, not typing, just by hand. They didn't even have regular pens. They just had to dip it in some ink and write on palm. They didn't even have paper on palm leaves. So anyway, that's the compassion. Anyway, so that is the mood of the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to be dedicated to the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, mission of Srila Prabhupada, and be full of compassion for others, and be ready to sacrifice, as we mentioned before, Paradukudukhi, being more concerned with others than oneself. So one has to become Krishna conscious. One needs to imbibe the mood of Srila Prabhupada. Because we were talking about separation at the beginning of this class. We talked about Vipralambha. So Prabhupada said preaching is in the mood of separation, in the mood of the gopis. Because if you want to understand Braj and the gopis, then you have to be in their mood. And that preaching is done in that mood. So several lessons that we're giving right now is one, dedication to the order or the mood of the spiritual master. Be ready to chastise, internally be chastised. I mean, we're not so fortunate now that Prabhupada is still on the planet in his physical form, in his Vapu form. But in his Vani form, he can guide us still. He can chastise us. So my experience is that Prabhupada is continually guiding me and chastising me. And when I decide to do something like just go to Vrindavan and enjoy, Prabhupada is saying, you rascal. Actually, we have personal experience of that too, even when Prabhupada was on the planet, now that I remember. one time, myself and another devotee, Rita Nadamarsh, were following Prabhupada everywhere. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of this rock and roll thing, like with groupies, you heard about that before? We got these like people who follow the rock and roll band or the whatever band all the time, you know, like the gigs. So what happened is that we heard Prabhupada was in New York, and I was in Los Angeles, and I wanted to see Prabhupada, and so I called my father up. I said, it's too fanatic. I said, I want to see you. Please pay for my ticket to come across. You know, flying from Los Angeles to New York is a long flight. It's almost like going across Australia from one side to the other. So my father paid and came, and I saw him for a few minutes. I was too fanatic. I have to admit it. Too fanatic. I should have spent more time with my parents, but I'll tell you the story in a second. So, we flew, saw Prabhupada. He also paid for Rita Nadamarsh's ticket too, so we flew to see Prabhupada. So we flew to Prabhupada, see Prabhupada. Okay, at Prabhupada's Association in New York. It was really wonderful. Then Prabhupada flew to Los Angeles, and we flew back to Los Angeles. And then Prabhupada saw it, and we were there, and Prabhupada said, don't you understand, you're not supposed to enjoy the spiritual master, you're supposed to serve the spiritual master. So he ran off and preached, made some devotees, like that. So that's the point. But the real enjoyment is serving. That's our constitutional position. Jivara Svrupai Nitya Krishna Das. So, anyway, getting back to the point that you may think I was really heavy with not spending time with my parents. But ultimately, I was successful. My father, before he left this world, he attributed all of his business success to my being a devotee. And my mother passed away with devotees around her, only devotees, chanting the holy names, taking Tulsi Jal and Tulsi leaf and everything like that. So, anyway, ultimately, Krishna took care of my family, even though I was a little too fanatic. Now we have to be a little bit more well-balanced in Krishna consciousness after 200 years in the Krishna consciousness movement. Gotten a little older and more mature. So, anyway, hearing Prabhupada chastise me, that's why I'm here. Because Prabhupada said, you rascal, you have to carry out the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and give people mercy. And if you don't do that, Prabhupada said, like Krishna says, if you don't do it, someone else will do it, and if you do it, you'll get the credit. And I need a lot of credit. Isn't it? It's like people work jobs because they want to make a lot of money. So my job is because I want a lot of credit. And that credit, of course, is eternal in spiritual life. And I want to please Prabhupada. And I want to serve Prabhupada eternally. And that's why I'm here. And that's the mood of the gopis. Isn't it? Service. Just like yesterday, of course, the first day of Kartik was a celebration of the Rasa dance, right? Rasa dance, sorry. So, many devotees don't understand what the Rasa dance is. Ultimately, the Rasa dance is the gopis trying to please Krishna. They're not thinking, we dance because we want to enjoy. Isn't it? That's what we did, So which is fine in Krishna consciousness. But they dance for the pleasure of Krishna. No water. Fortunately, before I joined Krishna consciousness movement, I never danced. I was fortunate. Because each time my parents tried to teach me dancing, I stepped on all the girls' feet. So I was the only one to get kicked out of dance school. So that was Krishna's special arrangement. So, anyway, so they go. Yeah, very unfortunate young man. So, they protected me from all the girls too. So, so what happened? So the gopis, they're simply thinking, let us give Krishna pleasure. And Krishna is simply thinking, let me give my devotees pleasure. Wow. You know, Krishna Vishaya, the gopis are Shraya, and then they switch positions. I'm using a little Sanskrit here. But anyway, some of you may understand the Sanskrit. So, they're simply thinking like that. Not like, hey, there's a good time, let's go to the dance hall. They're thinking, we want to give Krishna pleasure. They're running to give Krishna pleasure. Sometimes when you hear these pastimes, you may think that they're running to give themselves pleasure. But they're running to give Krishna pleasure. And Krishna's running to give them pleasure. Sadhavo hridyamayam saranam hridyam tuham balanyatana jatati naham tebhyo managapi. What does Krishna say? The devotees have me in their hearts. And I have my devotees in my heart. Krishna has the devotees in his heart. And because they know no one else other than me, Krishna speaking, then I know no one else other than them. And that's Krishna consciousness. So we approach in devotion like that, reciprocate with Prabhupada, reciprocate with Krishna, try to help people. I probably continually talk about those of you who are coming from Bharatvarsha, which most of you either that directly or indirectly from Fiji or some other place. Your duty is to actually para upakara, to work for the benefit of others. If we do that, you will experience so much happiness. You will have your heart fulfilled, and Prabhupada will be pleased with you. I mean, what else can I say? What else do you want in life? And then wherever you go will be Braj. You won't have to go anywhere else. Of course, you still can go to Braj. That's fine. I'm going there. Actually, I'm going there in December. Someone may say, why are you going there in December? The reason I'm going in December is because that's when all the devotees can come and join me, and the children can come and join me. Because that's school vacation. It's also generally work vacation. Many people do get off in December. And so this is my life, like helping devotees, interacting with devotees, associating with devotees. It's a blessing. This is the greatest blessing. Greatest pleasure is to be with devotees. Greatest misery is to be separated from the devotees. Anyway, so I don't anyone have any questions? This is your last opportunity. Questions or comments? Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for sharing your deep bhakti and deep affection with Srila Prabhupada. The question is, like, as you said, you realized before you did not want to join, but then when you experienced Srila Prabhupada, you felt like, no, I must join and I will tolerate.
Yeah.
Whatever comes, I will tolerate and I will please him.
Yeah, I wouldn't say whatever else. Yeah, I'm almost like, but I'm not challenging Krishna. You know, so I'm not like Queen Kunti. You're Queen Kunti? She prayed, let these miseries come again and again. I pray the opposite. Prabhupada said we should pray like that. So what was the question?
So, how do we develop that deep understanding, affection, and also the determination to go through the whole different phases when we are still, we are still not mature enough to grasp this?
Good question. And I can answer that the same way I'd answer the question is how do you bring young people to Krishna consciousness? Because it's the same answer. Role model. 2 words, role model. Like all of us, especially when you're young, you have these older people you look up to, role models. I remember, of course, my role model when I was young wasn't Prabhupada, because I didn't know Prabhupada. My role model was like people like the EMT people. You know EMT? You know what EMT is? Emergency medical technician. You know, people who would go around saving people. Like firemen, what do you call it? Fire brigade.
Paramedics.
Paramedics, also fire brigade. Same thing. So I always wanted to help people. So these were my role models. I looked up to them. And later when I joined Krishna consciousness, I took Prabhupada as my role model. In other words, how do you take someone as your role model? As your hero, you read about them, you hear about them, you associate with them. So without hearing about Prabhupada, not simply Prabhupada, but reading, let's say, the Leelamrita and the other biographies. There's so many biographies and short stories about Prabhupada, and that if you go on the internet, there's all these memories of Prabhupada video series, you know, YouTube, and it's all free. You don't have to pay for it. And you hear it, and it's just like, oh, it's so inspiring. He's a hero. Just like I read the Mahabharata. Of course, Prabhupada's not mentioned in the Mahabharata. Who's the biggest hero in the Mahabharata? Anybody? What? Krishna's not a hero. He's God. He can get away with anything. He's just tricky, you know, he's doing whatever he wants, manipulating everybody. A hero is someone who sacrifices everything. Arjuna. Isn't it? And read the Mahabharata. Who was the real hero? Arjuna. Krishna is God, you know, that's okay. We tolerate. But Arjuna's a hero. And then I read the Mahabharata and I get so much devotion for Arjuna. I mean, he had to do so many things. He had to surrender to Krishna and tolerate so much. And so I read about Prabhupada, hear about Prabhupada, watch Prabhupada. I listen to his class, try to listen every day to Prabhupada's class. All his classes are available for free, too. I mean, you have my mobile phone, all Prabhupada's classes and talks, and morning walks and everything right on my mobile phone. And I just put on my headphones, especially in an airplane. I have these nice noise reduction headphones. It's like, goodbye, everybody. And the stewardess comes by, would you like something to eat? And I say, get away from me. They get very frustrated with me on the airplane. You know, they came out yesterday, and they were trying to take my table, open the table. I said, get away. All right, yes, sir. I said, I'm making your life easy for you. You don't have to do anything for me. I don't eat your boga. I don't listen to your music. I'm in my own world. Okay. Yes, sir. No, I'm nice. I'm not nasty. So you hear. I mean, the more you hear, the more. It's like with Krishna. How do you love Krishna? You read about Krishna. First book I read was not Bhagavad Gita. It was Krishna book. I read about Krishna and I couldn't keep from thinking about him. I kept having these images of a little blue boy feeding butter to monkeys. I'd never seen a monkey in my life, except in the zoo. And I'd never seen a little blue boy. And And I didn't understand philosophically what it was, but I just couldn't keep that image out of my heart, out of my mind. And that's Krishna. So you read about Krishna. Shusho Shradanasha Vasadeva Katavuchi Shanmahasevya Viprapunya Tirtanashana. You hear more and more about Krishna, and then you go, oh, I'm attracted to him. I mean, look at Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna. Who's more attractive than that? Prabhupada said, if you can find someone more attractive than Krishna, we'll accept him as God. Prabhupada made a challenge. So is Krishna. And so Prabhupada is the same thing. His devotion for Krishna manifests Krishna. Krishna say tamar, Krishna dite par. Bhakti doesn't come from Krishna, it comes from Krishna's devotees, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And so you hear about Prabhupada and you get Krishna. And you imbibe a little speck of the devotion that Prabhupada had for Krishna, just like an insignificant amount you imbibe, and it's overwhelming. So that's the secret. Yeah, you don't have to be advanced. Who's advanced? I'm not claiming to be advanced in devotional service. But you develop so much devotion that even the reasons you came to Krishna consciousness, maybe you were looking for the truth, maybe you were in distress, maybe you want to go back to Godhead. I remember I first joined the movement, basically I wanted to go back to Godhead a lot. So much so that I prayed to Krishna to kill me every day, so I could go back to God at night. You know, before I went to sleep at night, I say, my dear Krishna, please kill me so I can wake up in the spiritual world. And he never did. Krishna didn't listen to my prayers, you know. So, but you know, after serving Prabhupada, it's simply, you develop so much devotion that you actually come to the point of Mama Janmani Janmani Sware, Bhavata Bhakti Haitaki Twaye. That let me serve you, Prabhupada. You say, because the bliss, the going back to Godhead, is in service. It's not an enjoying in the spiritual world where you could go to the Desire Cows and get ice cream. You know, just like in the beginning days of the movement, the devotees would ask Prabhupada questions like that. Can you get different flavors of ice cream from the Kamadenas? I just came from Italy where they have gelato. You know what gelato is? That's an Italian word. So it's famous, ice cream everywhere. So devotees would ask that question, can you go to a desire tree and get mangoes? Wow, that's great, I want to go back to Godhead. No, because if you get a mango from the desire tree, you give it to Krishna. It's not so you pick it, oh great, and you eat all the mangoes. One time I was in Raj in the summer, and in the summer's mango season in India, I mean, it's great. You can get for like a few rupees, hundreds of mangoes. So I thought, this is going back to Godhead. So I bought like a whole case just for myself of mangoes. And I kept eating them. I got sick, obviously. Wasn't a good idea. So going back to God, it's not like you get to eat all the mangoes all day long. You get to serve Krishna, and so you can do that now. Life after life. Janmai Janmai Prabhu say. Isn't it? That's how we chant. Vijnan really proper sita. Janmai Janmai Prabhu say. So we think about that. And that's the real happiness. I am happy if Krishna lets me do the same thing I'm doing now eternally. I don't mind. Same thing I'm doing now. Don't mind. It's wonderful. If I can do this, I have the best job in the world. Eternally, if I can do this. That's all I'm asking for. Like Narada Muni, traveling around with his Veena, Radhika Ramana Namane, Narada Muni Bhajati Narada Ramana Namane. Okay, one other question. Because we have a short time, I have to fly to Sydney this morning. What's the time? Questions, comments? I think everybody can come. I know it's a work day. What's that? How to engage every day? Motivate? You hear. Motivation comes from hearing. If you don't hear, you'll go away. You have to hear, of course, not just your japa, but to hear about Krishna, hear about Prabhupada, and then you become motivated and associated with the devotees. And just recently I was in the GBC meeting, and we're meeting about all these different issues. But the most wonderful thing is I got a chance to associate with all these nice other senior devotees. It was really blissful. We had kirtans together, we had Mangal Arti together, classes. I mean, it was just like amazing. And, I gave a brief talk at the GBC meeting, which some of you may have seen, was online. And I was just thanking the devotees for their association. Like that, it was just like, wow. What did I do to get this mercy, to deserve this? I'm just so thankful. And that's another point, being grateful all the time. Grateful, grateful, grateful. Whatever situation Krishna puts you in, that's where you're meant to be. It's being grateful, being Krishna consciousness. It's easy. You don't have to learn a whole bunch of verses. You don't have to be expert in this. You have to know at least Krishna's God, Prabhupada's his servant. That's all you got to know. And his holy name. What are those three things? Nama Ruchi. You have to have a taste for the holy name. Vaishnava Seva. You serve the Vaishnavas. That's where bhakti comes from. And then you get Jiva Doi. Compassion for others. Okay? That's how you ran into this thing. Hearing every day, associating. There's so much opportunity with the internet. The internet's great. It can take you to hell and it can take you back to Godhead. You become addicted to TikTok, Instagram, and everything like that. You go to hell. Literally. I mean, you lose your mind. There's so many psychological disturbances that young people have nowadays. Actually, I was just reading a dictionary on the way here. Why would I read a dictionary? It's a dictionary of modern English, Generation Z English. Isn't it? It's like, oh my God. Is this English anymore? Trying to translate things from what the young people say to try to understand the modern English. It's amazing. Anyway, so you hear about Krishna, that's the answer. Hear about Krishna, hear about Prabhupada, associate. You got the internet, it's great. It's great, it's fantastic. And you learn about a lot of things in serving Krishna. It's not that I just study about Krishna, about Prabhupada, but again, was that? Firstly, is the partnership. Vidya, avidya. One has to cultivate knowledge in this material world to understand how to serve Krishna. So right now, I'm studying AI. Because I need new AI devotees. Anyway, so... I'm wondering when we'll have human intelligence, so we can just have AI do everything for me. Wash my clothes. So, I'm studying because I want to preach Krishna consciousness. I want to really delve into the internet to try to reach out to more and more people like that. It's very important. So we have to continually upgrade our skills. For those of you working in the tech fields, You have to go? Homages? Yeah, okay. Then I'll stop. I mean, I can go on for hours.
I love it too.
All right. So, just like if you're working in the tech field, you have to continually upgrade. Anyone here do computer programming? No one? You do computer programming. Okay. You have to continually upgrade your skills. Otherwise, you're out of a job really quickly. So the same way with expanding Krishna consciousness, we shouldn't be just stuck in the past doing the same thing that may not have the same effect. Like Einstein, he said the definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Anyone's heard that? So we have to upgrade our skills to reach out to people. And now everyone's on the internet. I mean, there's other methods too. And so I'm continuing doing that too. So my whole life is absorbed in that, serving, hearing about Krishna, reaching out, understanding how to structure the movement. I mean, even on the plane, I was reading a few hundred pages of this book on how the Christians expand their movement. It's very interesting. You may be interested in this in the Melbourne area. Instead of the way that they expand more and more is that instead of just concentrating on buildings and temples, churches in their case, they reach out and establish very small congregations, like Bhakti Virtue and things like that, but even small centers everywhere. They don't just stay concentrated in one place. And in this way they make more and more followers. So we have to learn. We have to learn from others. One of the methods of being successful is something called copy success. We often say, don't reinvent the wheel. You understand? The wheel's already there. Why do devotees have to invent it? So there's methods for reaching out to people that we can learn from other people. So it's important to study, for those of us who are in a leadership position, to study sociology, psychology, technology, all those ologies. It's interesting. And then you keep your brain fresh. Now I'm 76, and I think my brain is fresh. Too fresh. That's the problem. And I said that to the GBC. You have to keep your mind active, keep studying, keep learning new things, and have hobbies, playing the guitar. So, I guess a few of you wanted to say some offerings. I mean, limited time.
Hare Krishna. We'll now have the offerings.
Uh-oh.
Gurudev. Sorry, my voice is...
Sure.
First in line is Nand Kumar Das Prabhu.
How many people do you have to do an offering?
12.
Okay, because before I go, I'd like to offer some prasad to myself.
Please just keep it to 2 minutes.
Keep it to
Highly
2 minutes.
appreciate it.
How about being spontaneous too? That's another thing we usually do. Rather than reading,
Yes.
when we read, it's not really spontaneous, and when we speak, it's more spontaneous. Okay. From your heart.
Namo Hansanikasaya Prabhupada Priyaya Sudit Siddhi Nistavya Tasya Vakyanabhava Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pustaya Bhutale Srimati Veer Krishna Das Goswami Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pustaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Dear Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances unto your lotus feet. I know I might not even be qualified to touch your feet, so accept my prostrated obeisances somewhere close to your lotus feet. I was actually asked to give a brief introduction about Gurudev. So What is it? It's just homages or?
Try to keep it short because we have a limited amount of time.
Yeah, okay. Because we are short of time, so what I will do is Gurudev is actually a living example of one of the verses of Bhagavad Gita, which is from the Bhagavad Gita Sar, which says, Tesam Satati Uttanam Bhajatam Purvakam. So I'll let you know how Gurudev is an example of that, because the first initial service that Gurudev did to Srila Prabhupada was distribution of books. And it was not like we do distribution of books. Gurudev was boarding a van like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning. And his distribution will continue until 9 p.m. So it's like more than 12-hour shift.
I was surrendered.
So, and this Gurudev was doing very, very sincerely, and he was doing with Priti Purvakam, So that later on developed Gurudev into a very, very divine preacher, which we hear from him now. So then with Prabhupada's mercy and with Krishna's mercy, he received this divine knowledge, especially from this distribution of books, distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam, and so now we see him actually preaching to us about Krishna consciousness. So that's what I wanted to say about Gurudev. And recently I have also seen Gurudev is preaching about every one of us get together as a team, one family, one Srila Prabhupada family. So if you listen to Gurudev's recent lectures, you will actually see he's preaching that. But maybe you know about Gurudev preaching that, but long ago Gurudev had actually put that into practice. That one some of you may not be aware. So going back to probably year 2002, when His Holiness Double Krishna Goswami Maharaj left his body. And that time, all the disciples of Double Krishna Goswami, Gurudev actually accepted them, gave them the shelter, gave them the love. So which basically means Gurudev not only with his own disciples, but with disciples of His Holiness Double Krishna Goswami Maharaj also. And I had the association of Gurudev during those early years, going back to 2002, when we went on the shelter with Gurudev. And that time, with all the association that I had with Gurudev, I would see all the disciples of Double Krishna Goswami Maharaj all around him, serving him, So, whatever Gurudev actually practiced, he is preaching now. Normally we preach first and then practice, I don't know which way it's right, but in case of Gurudev, he actually practiced that and that he preached. So, with that little introduction, I had a lot to say, but I will probably stop there. A little bit about myself and Vrindavani. So we went under shelter with Gurudev as it was early 2000. And then our initiation was sort of held up until 2005. And our initiation was also a specialty from Gurudev. Gurudev may have forgotten, but I will remind him that I did not get a recommendation and gave to Gurudev. It was a special case whereby Gurudev actually got the recommendation for me, for myself and Vrindavani. So that's a special mercy that he did to us, and he actually put us into the mission of Srila Prabhupada. So thank you very much for that, Gurudev. And I think I will stop there and let others speak because I can keep going, especially when the mic is in my hand. I don't stop. You know? So, His Holiness Veer Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samayat Bhakta Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
So what we do in these circumstances, you get the bell from the altar, and at 2 minutes, you ring it.
Next is Madan Sundari.
No, that's all right. I mean, I'd like to sit here forever and hear about myself, but
Madan Sundari
really,
Mataji, me.
we do have a little bit of time. Okay.
I know you want spontaneous offering, Gurudev, but I'm not capable. I have to write things down.
All right.
Forgive me for that. Please accept my humble obeisances for your divine lotus feet. All glories to Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. We are very grateful to be able to participate in celebrating the most auspicious day and having a very personal and breathtaking association with Gurudev in Melbourne for the first time. Krishna has been very merciful and fulfilled our wishes.
That's so fun.
Guru Mapadma Vakya Siteta Kurya Kya Arena Kari Ho Mane Shri Guru Charnarati Aise Uttamagati Se Prasade Pure Sarva Asa. The spiritual master is one of his who opens the darkened eyes and fulfills our heart with transcendental knowledge. You are a true Acharya as you are a bona fide spiritual master who teaches and leads by example, just like it has been said so many times. You are also an expert preacher, and as you reach the fallen souls like me by truly understanding my situation. By His mercy, all one desires are fulfilled. Daily we sing to glorify you, our spiritual master, and on this day I sing, clinging to your lotus feet, that I will be able to make it in Krishna consciousness. Your heartfelt message to GBC, it wasn't only to GBC, it is to all of us, and I will pray. I'll try my best to follow it. I'm trying my best to have compassion with and empathy when dealing with devotees. Thanks for reiterating Lord Chaitanya's teaching, Namaruchi, taste of chanting, Vaishnava Seva, which we try to do, Jiva Goya, compassion of living entities. Just 1 minute if you don't mind, please. I wish you a very happy Vyas Puja. Pray to Srimati Radharani that you have good health so that you can carry on Srila Prabhupada's mission. Guru Maharaj, this past year has been full of realization and new spiritual experiences by your blessings, keeping you at the center of my life. Each day I can feel how your endless mercy flows unconditionally in upkeep of my devotional service. Thank you for my second initiation. I'm so blessed. Sorry it took so long. I apologize.
That wasn't my fault. That's because to get initiation here, you have to be a pure devotee and be a devotee for 150 years in the Krishna conscious movement.
Please forgive me for any offenses to any wrongdoings I may have confirmed unknowingly. Thank you very much for your mercy. Jai Gurudev.
Next we have Pundrakaksha.
I have an interesting way we could do this. How about doing during Prashad?
Yes.
You know, because I've been traveling a long distance.
Yes.
And I'm not a little hungry. But you know, all I had was a little nuts and fruit on the plane for the last, what was it, 30-hour trip. 30 hours. So. Yeah, cut a cake, and then we all take prasadam, and then we can all hear the offerings. Actually, generally I listen to things during class, during prasadam anyway. Is it? You know, I can listen to class during, not that I go to class, but I think it's time for everybody to prasadam. Wow. Then everybody can take prasadam and someone can use the mic and read while we're taking prasadam. How about that for a program? See, everyone agrees. Especially me. Oh my God. See, let me get a picture of it. Someone spoil it. Really sharp?
Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to you. May Krishna bless you. May Krishna bless you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hooray, hooray, hooray.
Look at this cake.
Jai Shri Gurudev.
That's chocolate?
No, it's
What? It's what?
That's the guitar.
I know, but that's chocolate.
No,
It's not chocolate, it's cocoa.
Cocoa.
Cocoa and cow.
That's the same thing as chocolate. I'll tell you. What?
I thought you took
I do. So I'll tell you a funny story. I was at the GBC meeting. And I brought chocolate there to give out to devotees. But then, so I wanted to pick the devotees who were very liberal, I knew would appreciate it. And I gave them chocolate, but I didn't give it to the conservative devotees. You know, and the other devotees looked at me and said, "Why did you give us some?" I said, "You're too conservative." And they don't, and one of them, you know, Anujma Prabhu was in charge of public relations. He said, "Don't you know I have a whole suitcase full of chocolate?" So I guess it's all right. I usually don't take chocolate, I take cacao. It's called cacao. Cacao is the original bean from which it comes from. And it's actually very healthy. Okay, prasadam for everybody now?
yes.
Haribo! Does one of the children know the prasadam prayer? Prasadam prayer? Okay. Surya, oh, she knows it?
Yes. Gaurav?
No, the one that Prabhupada taught us was Sharira, Vidyaja, Tendriya. Prabhupada never taught the other one. That's something new. Sharira, Vidyaja, Tendriya, Tehikalaja, Vipalaya, Vishaya, Sagre, Varmade, Javoyati, Lovemoys, Rumati, Agratak, Samsare, Krishna Bhadarai, Boy, Kurikara, Jukjai, Srapasada, Nirudayavai, Sainamitaka, Radha Krishna Gurga, Premadako, Chaitanya Jai. Chaitanya Jai, Jai Mai, Jai Jai Mahaprasad, Jai. Okay, Prasad. Okay.
Is my laundry being done now? Who's doing the laundry? Is the laundry, did you put it in the washing machine already?
It's dry.
It's drying now.
It's dry.
You can press it up?
Pressing.
Oh, you're pressing? Okay, Krishna, where should I take? Okay, Prasadam, and then the devotees can read. There's a microphone and they can read.
हरे कृष्ण। आप सभी लोग बैठ सकते हैं प्रसादों के लिए। ब्रेकफास्ट करेगा और सब लोग बैठे और जो डिवोटीज ऑफरिंग बोल रहे हैं वो बोल सकते हैं। बैठ जाइए।
Actually not.
Hare Krishna. Everyone, please be quiet. As you did My dear Guru, my spiritual father, we are very happy to see you here in Melbourne, especially waiting for a very long time. We only talk in our God families when the Gurudev Lord speaks past the Melbourne. So finally you are here, so we expect us to be continuing on your mercy and blessing. We are so fortunate of your blessings and mercies. You know, like what happens during our initiations. It's waited for so long time, and it's long waited, but we learn a lot of things during the process as well. Now, I don't know words how I can thank you to take me from the material world, and I'm able to standing in front of you and talking in front of you. That's only possible because of your mercy and the blessings. Otherwise, we are not qualified to stand next to you. Thank you for everything you did. I have a lot of things inside, but it's not coming out maybe because you're here. Okay, I hand over to Kamala Padma.
Happy Krishna conscious birthday, I wish you a long life, and may I get your association all the time, and may I purify myself and make it proud. Thank you so much. Hare
Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. O glory to Srila Prabhupada. On this most sacred occasion of Abhyas Puja, I wish to express my deep gratitude for your endless dedication, compassion, and guidance on behalf of my family. Your teachings continue to touch so many hearts, and it personally helps me strengthen my own future devotion. One of the most special moments of my life was being able to witness my parents' initiation ceremony. Watching them take that step in their spiritual journey under your guidance made me realize how truly blessed I am. It reminded me how fortunate I am to have your association and how powerful your influence is in shaping so many lives, including my own. I also remember asking you during a Q&A how we can balance our school life with our spiritual practices. Your response, that balance naturally develops when we surround ourselves with like-minded individuals, has stayed with me ever since. It is something I try to live by each day. You once said that even if a person is fully spiritually conscious, it is still essential to set an example for those who are not. That statement continues to inspire me because you live by those words. Through your actions, humility, and dedication, you set an example for all of us on how to live a sincere and meaningful version of life. I pray that I can continue to follow your guidance, serve with sincerity, and live by the values you have shared with us. Please bless us so that we may also become a good example for others, just as you have been for us. Once again, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada, and all glory to Guru Maharaj.
Very nice.
We will now have Aramanaji.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, Guruji, this is a good example of how much we follow our Guru's instruction. I do have to look at some points though. Sorry about this. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my family's humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to all the to Guru and Gauranga, and also our humble obeisances to all the devotees that's present here. We're very fortunate today that you've given us the opportunity to say pay our homilies in person to you. So thank you, Guru Maharaj, for coming here and blessing our beautiful Melbourne today. We have been waiting for this, so it's highly appreciated by me and my family. I also want to express my gratitude to you for your determined and steady preaching that you do in Srila Prabhupada's mission, together uplifting us and encouraging us on our spiritual journey. So thank you, Gurudev. Your mode is always filled with genuine compassion and love, which is highly appreciated by us. While preaching, you definitely shine with purity and enthusiasm. That's amazing to see how you preach. And your lectures have been a treasured source for us, especially my family. When we listen to your lectures, it's really, really nice. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. One thing I've really gathered from your class today, I often used to, at times when I'm trying to bring another person to Krishna consciousness, it's so hard, Guru Maharaj, it's so hard. And I'm thinking, and that's the time I really think about you. How does Gurudev do this? But in today's lecture, you have really expressed so many things, tolerance and you know, how dedicated we have to be in Srila Prabhupada's mission. And also the most important thing was, you know, being in association with the devotees, the like-minded people. And also I really want to thank you for guiding me and my brother Rajesh, because we didn't know you, but we basically met you through our family, Auntie Priya, Vaikunta Matati and all the family. So we really, the first thing you said to us was stay with the temple, you know, in the shelter of the temple. And from that, a lot we have learned, and we're still in the process of learning that more. So really appreciate it. And all I can say in the end is, Gurudev, that I thank you for showing so much mercy towards me and my family. And we pray for your good health. And we pray that you'll be able to visit Melbourne from now onwards and bless us all here. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Happy 76th Vyas Puja, Gurudev. Myself and Uncle Vipin Devi Dasi, together with my family Krishna Seva Das, Radha Devi Dasi, and Gita Das, and Ananya Devi Dasi. We pray to Shri Shri Radha Golokananda to keep you in good health and to always face your lectures. We are so grateful to Srimati Radharani that we are finally able to see you. Your guidance has transformed our life. Your selfless devotion to Sri Radha Golokananda and your compassion for all living beings inspire us. We are forever grateful for your instructions, your patience, and your unwavering faith in us. We offer this humble tribute to you, dear Guru Maharaj, our respect, our gratitude, and our life. May this Vyas Puja celebration be a token of our appreciation for his highest efforts to spread Lord Krishna's message. Thank you, Gurudev, for being an embodiment of Lord Krishna's love and compassion. May this day mark the beginning of a new era of devotion, service, and spiritual prayer for all of us. Guru Maharaj, we bow down to your lotus feet seeking your blessings and protection. Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Oh, very nice.
will now hear the Divya Shakti Mataji.
नंद बाबा व्हाइट दिखाई देना व्हाइट वाला व्हाइट वाला उधर उसपे टमाटर
My heart overflowing with gratitude. Thank you. You have been the light in my life, guiding me and my daughters with kindness and passion. You gave me the vision when my eyes were blind. You gave me courage when my spirits were weak. And you gave me love when my heart was. Everywhere from you came the warmth and compassion. Every smile reflected the grace. Though I'm small and full of love, you never gave up. You always guided me. You see not just what I am, but what